Hi guys, this is Cindy from Stitching, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a hooded towel for a very special lady to give to her niece for a Christmas present. She ordered this a few weeks ago, and I'm finally getting caught up and able to do it. So the first thing I got to do though is I need to find a pattern, and I'm going to go online, and I've already got it loaded. My favorite place to get some of my hooded towel patterns is My Petite Fleur Designs. It's online, and I am going to put in Princess. You know, when you're looking up this stuff, it doesn't always say exactly what it is. You have to kind of find it. So here's my princesses, and here's the one I want. So I just added this to my cart, and then I'm going to check out. If you do embroidery and like to do applique, which I love to do applique, this is what you need to do. Use this site. I downloaded my design from My Petite Fleur Designs, and I'm going to go into my Embroidery software, which is what I use to design my embroidery patterns. Let me get rid of this. And I am going to open it up in Embroidery. I actually saved it into a folder so it'd be easy to find. In my documents, I created an embroidery folder, and then hooded towels. So we'll go down and find it. Right here. So there's a snowflake add-on in that design. I might do that on this towel. But let me get my princess first. There she is. So I want this 5x7 PES because I have a brother PE 770. So there's my design. Now, looks like the crown was separate. So if I want to add the crown, I will just do that right here. There she is. Not sure why it's separate, but we'll add it on to it. I'll go ahead and put it on there now. So I'm going to flip it to where it's going to be on her head. Pop it right here in her hair. And kind of stay away from the border, okay? There. Okay. So there she is. So how about that snowflake? Let's pick up that snowflake too. I'm gonna find that snowflake again. It's this Cold Princess, and there it is. And I want the PES again. That's a 4x4. We'll do the 4x4. Okay. And I could do more than one on my towel. Copy it and paste it. So I'm going to do 2 of them. How about that? And I'll just put that down on the bottom towel when I do it. Alright, so there's my design, and I'm going to get my threads together. There's all my colors that I'm going to use, and then we'll get to going with our monogram or embroidery machine. I've got my design ready, and I'm going to save it on a jump drive and call it Elsa so I can find it. So there it is. I'll take my jump drive out, and we're going to come over to my embroidery machine and pop it in here, okay? Alright, so we are actually ready to start monogramming or applique. So I'm going to hit my embroidery machine and my design. I've got a few loaded in here already, but oop, there it is, right there. Get it ready. Okay, so we are ready. Now I gotta get my hoop. Pretty pitiful. You can tell it's been used a lot. So I'm gonna get some backing. And I got it stashed over here. I ordered my tearaway backing off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and put it in my hoop. Now, I like to center it. Find my pencil. And my ruler. I'm just gonna draw the center of my hoop. Okay. Next. Okay, so I got these towels from Kohl's. I usually order them when they go on sale in a variety of colors that I think I'm going to use. So that's what we're going to be using for this Elsa. This is kind of a turquoise teal color. So this is a hand towel. And I usually make a good little mess in here. Okay, so I'm only going to want half of this towel, okay? So I will cut it down the center. But I'm probably just going to wait till we get done, just for time's sakes. So, I got my thing marked. I'm going to spray it. And I want this edge, her face is this way, okay? So I'm going to have the edge of the towel. I'm going to fold it so I can find my center. But I'm only worried about the edge. So, right here. Is my center. And I'll put a couple pins in it along the edges. These will stay here while we're working. And one more up here. get this on here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let it stitch out my initial frame, and that's where my face of Elsa is going to go. I found this cream colored or flesh colored vinyl in my stash. It's fabric backed. And then I found a piece of this is microfiber fabric. Just a little edge. I save all my scraps. Good thing. It comes in handy when I'm doing applique. So I'm going to pull my Elsa off of the machine. And lay down this piece of vinyl right where her face goes, okay? So, right here. And I try to save as much vinyl as I can, not waste any. I probably didn't have to pull that off the machine to do that, but I did. So let's just fix it back, okay? So there. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of hold it way up here, not to get my fingers where they'll get in the way. Once it stitches up, we'll take it back off the machine and cut it out. Alright, I got these nice angled scissors, which is what I like to use for cutting stuff out. So, we've got Elsa trimmed out. So now we're going to do the stitches where her hair goes. Okay, I'm just going to lay it up under here. Make sure I've got all of the area that's stitched, the little outline covered. Put down a little bit so I don't run into a problem. Alright, here we go. And this is her hair. I'm just holding it on the edges. I don't want my hands in there. Okay, so we're going to cut around the Elsa's hair. Now this is going to be a little bit more difficult because of this fabric. A little bit of fuzzies we'll have. So I'm just kind of feeling my way. Even though I used a dark colored thread, it is hard to see. As you can see, I'm just pulling up as I go. Just trying to get them edges without cutting into her hair that's appliqued. throw that down there and I'll get that later. So around here, I've got some. Okay, so we have her hair, we have her face. Now the fun part. I like to put this clear, soluble covering over it. It actually dissolves in water, but it lets me stitch so my stitches stay on top instead of getting buried into this fabric here. So I'm going to get a piece. It comes in a roll, and I usually get this on Amazon. Big old roll, but it only takes a little bit. So I'm just going to cover her up and pin it down. I'm use these same pins that I already have in here. Alright, finishing up, getting it pinned. This corner too. I'll get her back on there. And the next thing we're going to stitch is where her nose is. So it's going to be like a little shadow for your nose. So I'm going to actually change my thread. And I just noticed my bobbin is about to be empty. So I'm going to need change my bobbin before we continue. So I have a box of bobbins that I buy from Amazon. Makes it a little easier for me. And I'll try to put some of these links if y'all want in my down below this video when I put it on. So we'll get our bobbin. It's pretty easy to change out your bobbin. Easier to do it now than to run out and then have to back up and figure out where you ran out at. Sometimes it stitches a couple stitches and you'll have a little bitty gap, which most people may not even notice it, but I notice it. So alright, so we're not going to use the blue. I'm going to use something a little closer to flesh. So this let's see, what do I have? I think this one right there will be better. The color labels have come off of most of my threads. These threads last a long time. Except for my whites and blacks. I use more of them than anything. So I'm going to thread my machine up. And just get it threaded up. Bring it around there. And it's threaded. Yay. Okay, so let's get going. Get her thread. Get her stitched up. Okay, we're working on her face detail. Stitch up them eyes. Okay, now we're going to do her crown. So I'm going to use this pretty brownish gold thread for it. We are done stitching our design. I'm going to pull it off. Isn't she pretty? Bring her over to my table. Take all these pins out. And this stuff is soluble unisub. Comes right up, and then I'll take this up too. Once you get it started, it comes right out too. The little bitty places, you can take a wet paper towel and actually dissolve it if it's stuck, you know, like in between little bitty crooks and crannies like those. So we'll get her all cleaned up. So I'm going to take this off of my hoop, and it just rips. Remember, this is tear away. Back in there. So I'm done with that. Throw it on the ground, get it out of my way for now. So I'm going to actually, this is for a child. So if it's for adult, I would use this whole, or a big child, not an adult, but use this whole towel for the hood, but it's for a child. So I'm actually going to cut it in half and only use half of it. Get my scissors. Alrighty, and then I can use this piece for another towel later. Alright, so next we're going to make the hood, and then we're going to attach it to a bath towel. And we'll be done with this little hood towel. I'll get it cleaned up after we get finished. Alright, so I'm going to fold it in half again. Okay, so I'm going to take this on the sewing machine and just stitch it up. Now, my sewing machine is a Brother Project Runway, so it doesn't like real thick stuff. So what I do, get my foot wherever it run off to. If I get it started here, like that, and then I'll back it up and take my time with that big old fold over part. Alright, here we go. A few stitches and then go backwards. And like I said, I'm going to take my time with this big thick section. It tends to break my thread. I guess if I had a heavier duty sewing machine, I'd be fine. I'm just going to stitch this up. Now, I like to go back over it with a zigzag stitch. Just to keep it together. Remember, it's for kids, so they like to play. So we're going to put a zigzag in it right where we are, okay? So I'm going to set my machine to 03, which is a zigzag. Alright, there we are. So the hood is done. Alright, so there's our hood. Alright, so if you turn it inside out, there's the part that goes on the child's head. Okay, so now let's get our big towel and attach this to it. So what you're going to want to do is sew these together, right sides together, okay? Which means the pretty side, this side goes against the pretty side of the towel. So I got my towel. Like I said, I ordered these from Kohl's, and they got lots of various sizes, colors. So this one, this is the big one. That's the name of the towel. They hold up really, really well. These were regular $9.99, but I got them for like $2.50 when they went on sale. And I got free shipping, because I do order them in bulk. So those are the ones that I like. Alright, so when I fold these in half, I'm going to mark where my center is. Right there, okay? And there's my center of my girl, okay? So I'm going to pin it together. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of pins in it, but I'm going to put a few. So, let's pin it on the end. Okay, it's ready to sew. Okay, so when it's up, it's going to be like this. Okay. So we'll come back over to the machine. Take it off the zigzag. Don't need the zigzag here. Alright, remember I'm going to do it like I did a while ago. And get my needle holder here. Alright, then I'll back it up. So when I get to this section, just open it up. And again, take your time. Alright, let's make sure my towel's good and even. What I said is if I slow down enough, I tend to not have a problem on those big, bulky seams. Alright, so I'm going to trim it off. There we are. So now, you've got your hooded towel. Alright, so if you remember, I also loaded a snowflake to put on here. So what I gotta do to figure out where I'm gonna put it is to fold it up the way it's gonna go, okay? So that, I usually fold it in thirds. Just like that, okay? And then roll it. So we're going to roll it to the center. Alright, so if I'm going to do a snowflake, it's going to be right here, okay? So I will get it ready and we'll do that snowflake. Same way on the embroidery machine. It's just a little extra for this little towel, but I think it'll really be pretty. But let me show you what it's usually going to look like. Most towels I don't do, so I fold them together, tie a ribbon here, and then bring this hat down, tuck it back, there it is. You can pin it if you want to stay. Okay, there she is. And like I said, I'm going to do her a snowflake. I am stitching the snowflakes. Once again, I use this soluble topper so my stitches won't get lost in the pile of the towel. That's snowflakes for stitching. I'm just cleaning up all this stuff on her face. Getting any loose stitches, threads, and what have you up. Alright, so that's the one snowflake done. Change my thread. I did white and silver for the snowflakes. The pattern actually called for 2 shades of blue, but since I have a blue towel, I decided to do white snowflakes. I'm actually in the process of doing a snowflake cup. It'd be kind of cool to have those two together, wouldn't it?